Hello everybody and welcome to section 3. After we know how to create sketch entities, it's the time to talk about sketch constraints. Let's have a look at this line. This line is free to move. If I drag this point, it will move. If I drag this one, it will move. If I'll drag the line itself, it will move. Our task will be to eliminate all the movements that this line or any 2D sketch entity can perform. So we have what we call a fully defined sketch. If we have a look here, you'll find underdefined. After we define what we call constraints, this will be turned into what we call fully defined. There are two types of constraints: geometrical constraints and dimensional constraints. We will talk about both of them. As an example, this is the origin point, so we need to relate this line to this point. You don't need to work with me now, but I will just show you the principle. Let's consider this point. We can move it in the x direction, and we can move it in the y direction. To eliminate this movement, we need to define a distance in the x direction, and now it doesn't move in the x, as you can see. It only moves in the y direction. That's why if we define a distance in the y direction, then this point cannot move. But we still have this point free to move. As you can see, this point is black now, which means it's a fully defined point. I'll treat this point the same way I treated this one. So I will define two distances. And now the whole line is black, which means it's a fully defined line, and you can see this here, and we can tell that because it's black. So whenever you have a black entity, it means it's a fully defined entity, and whenever it's a blue entity, it's an underdefined entity. This is the first type of constraints, which is dimensional. Now let's talk about geometrical constraints. Some kinds of geometrical constraints are horizontal, vertical, coincident, perpendicular, parallel, and so on. For now, if I select this line, I can set it to be horizontal. Now I have the symbol here, and that means this line will be horizontal all the time. This line, I want it to be vertical, and now it will be vertical all the time. I can join these 2 points, and now they will be connected all the time. I can set these 2 lines to be equal, and now their length will be the same. Then I can set this point at the origin, and finally I can give this a length. And now I have fully defined entities. So this is a quick preview in what we will be doing during this section.